This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. These videos are brought to you by G66 UK, which is your place to get at the moment an FM3 or an AXFX3 in the UK with no waitlist. There is a short waitlist on the FM9 at the moment, but that's probably going to change relatively soon. But if you're looking for FM3s and AXFX3s, that's the place to go. Today I wanted to look at, I guess, well, it's one of the kind of top three kind of classic amps, right? I guess top three, you might think of a Fender Deluxe Reverb, you might think of a Marshall Plexi, and you might think of a VOX AC30. I think it's really easy to overlook some of these things because we've got such an amount of choice within our Fractal units. But the other thing with the VOX is that I think I have it in mind sort of how these things sound, and maybe I've not really considered it as a thing that I might use all the time. But actually we've got some killer models in here. So I wanted to start off, I basically put together an 8-scene preset. Scene 5, 6, 7, 8 are all the same as these first four. They just have a drive added to them. So basically in the cab section, the cab that I'm using for all of these is the Class A30W. Obviously that's going to be our VOX style. And I've got the condenser like 2.64 just away from the cab a bit. They are quite bright amps, obviously. Then, first of all, I'm using the top boost Class A 30 watt top boost. We have a few here. We've got the 15 watt top boost. We've got 30 watt bright hot top boost again. So yeah, a bunch of different options. I think we got a hand wired version, and that's the normal channel here. And then yeah, but so this is the top boost, which is the brighter circuit with the tone stack. Here I'm using, the intro I was using kind of a Strat style guitar, and now I'm using a Schecter Aaron Johnson. I really love, instead of going for the totally cranked Vox kind of tones, the gain around 3.12 here, so 3. So if I was on a bridge pickup, I get a little bit of breakup, but here the gain at 3.12. The bass I backed off very slightly to 4.2, and the treble at 5. The high cut, I don't actually think you need in many cases, so I tend to run the high cut off. Okay, and delay wise, I'm using the worn tape because I thought that would give us a kind of nice vibe. We've got the mix at 8.5, and then I'm using the Nimbus Stratus in high quality mode with the time down at 15.54, the mix at 7.5. So that's where we're getting our ambience from. Okay, then I thought, what about the AC15? This wants to break up a little bit more. We got the gain here at 4.42, and I think it's a good idea as we up the gain with the Vox stuff to sort of start to drop the bass a little bit. So it then goes to 2.18, and the treble goes up to 5.73. But yeah, that one wants to break up a little bit sooner, I think, than the AC. And then we got the normal top boost 30 here, and I've got the gain. And of course, you know, it's a Vox. These things, because they've got an abundance of high end, they do tend to clean up quite well. Okay, and then I wanted to also crank one out. So we've got the Class A30 the hot. So that on the hand-wired models, I think there's a hot and cold switch on it. Here we've got the gain really cranked up nice and high. This is on the normal channel, I believe. The high cut still we got off. I don't think it's particularly necessary. I'd prefer to use the high cut within the cab section if I was going to do it, but I feel like the kind of more you turn that off, the less voxy and chimey it. Imagine in real life that would be insanely loud, but that's kind of the beauty of modelling. It's we're able to, you know, really crank a Vox amp in this kind of way. There's a really nice kind of raw quality to it. So yeah, high cut, still leaving that off. Just chucking the gain up to 8.18, and that, to me, I'm digging that. I think I may have changed the cab for that position very slightly more in. That's not going to make a huge difference. Right, and then of course there are loads of drives that we could pair with this, and I think that the Vox does take pedals really well. But this was one that I thought might be a little bit outside of what we might normally think of a Zen drive for. So I've got the Zen drive here with the level at 4.93, the voice up to 9.52, the drive at 4.53, and the tone at 5. And I really liked this. Still kind of accentuating some of the chimey aspects, but yeah, getting us more of that. And I kind of just chuck that in front of each of the different... each of the scenes. So that one was the cleaner kind of scene, so you've got a bit more headroom with that one, and it's going to be a bit of a cleaner kind of tighter chuggy thing. And then scene 8 for the most gain. So you can get those really kind of nice hot-rodded kind of voxy tones if you're wanting to as well. So I think it's a really good candidate for lots of different styles that we might not have even thought about. Just a really straightforward model that's, you know, not going to take you ages to dial in. I think you just pair it with a Vox style cab and you're kind of good to go. Takes drive pedals incredibly well. Other things that I quite liked with it was the rat distortion. This MCM LXXXX1 drive sounded pretty good with it too. Check those out. I think you'll enjoy those Vox amp models. Also, of course, there is the AC30 that you should probably be aware of in this vein. AC30 here from Morgan, and there are going to be other Vox style kind of circuits in there. I think the Trainwreck is somewhat in this sort of vein as well. Of course, the matchless DC30. I need to do a video on that individually itself. Those would be really good candidates for this sort of thing. But yeah, there's nothing wrong at all with the classic kind of Vox tones. Check those out. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers for stopping by. I'll chuck this up into the Gumroad if you're looking for these presets, and cheers.